Simone Taylor wakes up to the soft hum of her alarm at 5:30 a.m., the city skyline visible through her apartment window. She begins her day as always, coffee in hand, reviewing emails, and running through her mental checklist. Simone has grown accustomed to excelling quietly, meticulously preparing for every meeting and presentation. As one of the brightest talents at Ellington & Co., a prestigious consulting firm, she's constantly aiming higher. Despite her exceptional work, she's been passed over for 3 promotions in the last 2 years. Today, she hopes it will be different. A major meeting awaits, and Simone has developed an innovative strategy that could transform the firm's processes. This is her chance to shine, or so she thinks. At the office, Simone's colleague Andrew, a charming white male analyst, greets her warmly. They share friendly banter, and Andrew casually mentions that the recent promotion went to Matt, a mediocre team lead who lacks Simone's finesse and work ethic. They said he was more visible, easier to place in front of clients, but let's keep our fingers crossed and be positive. Andrew mutters sympathetically. Simone forces a smile, though the news stings. The team gathers around the boardroom table. Simone's manager, Tom, and her colleagues listen as she lays out her strategy. A cost-saving automation plan designed to streamline client deliverables. There's a brief moment of silence as Tom skims the report, nodding approvingly. "Great work, Simone. We'll have Matt lead the final pitch," Tom says casually, without looking up. Her heart sinks. Matt, a less experienced colleague who frequently takes credit for group efforts, smiles smugly across the table. Simone clenches her fists under the desk, forcing a neutral expression. It's another invisible wall placed between her and the leadership roles she deserves. Later that morning, Andrew, one of the few colleagues Simone considers a friend, joins her for coffee in the break room. "I thought this one was yours for sure," he says, stirring sugar into his espresso. "You outworked all of us, again." Simone appreciates Andrew's sympathy, but his words don't soothe the ache of being ignored. "Thanks," she mutters with a forced smile, not wanting to sound bitter. She wonders, not for the first time, whether her hard work will ever be enough. The casual way Matt's name is always chosen gnaws at her. Simone forces herself to focus on the task at hand. Complaining isn't an option. She needs this job, and she knows that if she lets emotions take over, her professionalism might be questioned. She channels her frustration into perfecting the deliverables for Matt's presentation. Every detail is flawless. He'll stand in front of clients with the work she crafted from scratch. Later that night, as she prepares to head home, Tom passes by her desk. "Good work today, Simone. We're lucky to have you," he says, as if that were consolation. Simone watches him walk away, wishing for more than just empty compliments. At home, Simone unwinds with a phone call to her sister, Lila. They talk about everything: work, family, and dreams. Lila, a high school teacher, listens intently as Simone vents about being sidelined again. "You know you deserve better," Lila says firmly. Simone leans back into her couch. "It's just exhausting," she admits. "What if they never see me as leadership material?" Lila's response is quick and clear. "Then maybe they don't deserve you." Encouraged by Lila's words, Simone schedules a meeting with HR to discuss career development. The HR manager, Clara, a white middle-aged woman, listens politely, but offers little help. "You're definitely on our radar," Clara says with a tight smile. "Sometimes these things take time." Simone leaves the meeting frustrated. It's the same refrain she's heard for years. Be patient. Wait your turn. But how long can she wait when others are constantly promoted ahead of her? Simone learns that Matt has been invited to an exclusive after-work event with the firm's senior partners. It's not surprising. These informal gatherings often play a bigger role in career progression than actual performance. Andrew confirms her suspicions over lunch. "It's all politics," he says with a shrug. Simone struggles to hide her frustration. No matter how hard she works, it seems the real opportunities happen behind closed doors. Opportunities she's never invited to. Determined not to be sidelined, Simone makes an effort to connect with her colleagues beyond work. She invites Andrew and a few others for drinks after work, hoping to build relationships that might help her visibility. They laugh and bond, but it's clear that some of the team's cliques are hard to penetrate. Simone is assigned to a difficult client account, one that previous teams have failed to manage. It's a high-risk project, but she sees it as her chance to prove her worth. She spends late nights analyzing data, brainstorming solutions, and preparing presentations. The workload takes a toll. Simone finds herself burning out, struggling to maintain her energy and enthusiasm. Despite the challenges, she remains focused. This is her moment, and she won't let it slip away. Her hard work pays off when the client approves the strategy Simone developed. For the first time, she feels a sense of accomplishment. Yet, when the firm announces the success to the rest of the company, Matt's name is once again in the spotlight. Simone knows she has reached a turning point. She can either confront the bias directly or quietly move on to greener pastures. Both choices come with risks, and she must decide what matters most: recognition within the company or personal growth elsewhere. She started by submitting applications to other firms, hoping she would get a better offer. Over lunch, Simone confides in Andrew about her dilemma. "If I leave, it feels like they win," she says. Andrew nods thoughtfully. "Or maybe it means you win by not letting them define your worth," he suggests. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and nothing seems to be changing. Simone decides to confront Tom. She lays out her concerns about the firm's bias and lack of transparency in promotions. Tom is taken aback, but promises to look into it. The next day, Simone receives a call from a rival consulting firm offering her a leadership position. It's everything she has wanted: authority, autonomy, and respect. Simone wrestles with the decision. Leaving would mean starting over, but staying feels like settling for less than she deserves. She spends sleepless nights weighing her options. Layla reminds Simone of her worth. "You've already proven yourself," she says. "Now it's time to decide what you want your story to be." Simone's emotional confusion deepens, and she feels the mounting tension between staying at her current firm or moving on to a better opportunity weighing in on her. The day after her bold conversation with Tom, Simone receives an email from HR. Tom has proposed her name for a leadership program. It's framed as a way to develop her potential. But Simone reads between the lines. They're not offering her the promotion she deserves. Instead, it's an attempt to placate her. Simone sits at her desk, staring at the email. The offer feels too little, too late. After years of being overlooked, the leadership program seems like a consolation prize. Yet a small part of her wonders, could this be the stepping stone she needs, or is it just another corporate tactic? Later that day, Matt approaches her, a sheepish grin on his face. "Hey, I know things haven't always been fair," he begins, scratching the back of his neck. "I just want you to know, I respect what you do. Honestly, I couldn't have pulled off the last project without your groundwork." Simone wants to feel validated, but instead, anger bubbles beneath the surface. His words sound more like guilt management than a genuine apology. She forces a smile and replies coolly, "Good to know." Matt lingers awkwardly, realizing his charm isn't working this time, and then walks away. The moment leaves Simone feeling both vindicated and exhausted. That weekend, Simone visits her parents, Theodore and George, for dinner. Over bowls of gumbo, she shares her frustrations. George, a retired engineer, leans back in his chair and strokes his beard thoughtfully. "I dealt with the same thing in my day. You work twice as hard for half the recognition." Theodore, who ran a nonprofit for years, is more blunt. "Baby, they'll never give you what you deserve. You have to take it or leave it." Simone feels the weight of their words. Her parents have fought similar battles throughout their careers, and now she stands at the same crossroads. That night, Simone lies in bed, staring at the ceiling. The job offer from the rival firm plays on her mind, along with the company's sudden interest in her development. A single thought takes root in her heart. If they didn't value me before, why should I stay now? She realizes that, for too long, she's been waiting for permission to succeed, waiting for someone to see her, approve of her, lift her up. But she doesn't need their permission anymore. It's time to stop proving her worth to people who don't see it. The following Monday, Simone emails Tom and HR, politely declining the leadership program. She writes, "I appreciate the opportunity, but I have decided to pursue other professional paths that align more closely with my goals." Hitting send feels liberating, like shedding the invisible weight she's carried for years. Tom's response is immediate. "Let's talk about this. We don't want to lose you." But for the first time, Simone isn't swayed by his words. She's already decided. Her future lies elsewhere. Simone meets Andrew for coffee to break the news. He looks genuinely surprised. "You're really leaving?" he asks, stirring his drink slowly. "I thought you'd stay and fight." "I've been fighting," Simone replies softly. "I just realized this isn't a battle I want to keep fighting forever." Andrew nods in understanding, though his disappointment is clear. "I'll miss working with you," he says sincerely. Simone smiles. "Me too." Simone's exit interview with HR feels surreal. Clara from HR looks uncomfortable as Simone outlines her reasons for leaving, citing the firm's systemic biases and lack of growth opportunities. Clara takes notes but offers no real solutions, just a vague promise that the firm will do better moving forward. Simone leaves the interview feeling a mixture of relief and sadness. She's closing a chapter that has defined so much of her life. But she knows it's the right decision. On her final day, Simone clears her desk slowly, reflecting on the highs and lows of her time at the firm. Colleagues stop by to wish her well, some genuinely sad, others indifferent. Matt gives her a half-hearted "good luck," but it no longer matters to her. As she walks out of the building for the last time, the cool autumn air hits her face, and a smile spreads across her lips. For the first time in a long while, she feels free. Simone's first day at the rival firm is exhilarating. She's greeted warmly by her new team and introduced as the Director of Business Strategy. It's surreal to be in a role where her talents are not only recognized but celebrated. As she settles into her new office, she realizes that this is what she's been missing. An environment where she can thrive without limitations. Her new colleagues are eager to learn from her, and the future feels bright. Simone quickly builds rapport with her new team, focusing on creating meaningful relationships. She meets Lena, another Black woman in a leadership role, and they form an instant connection. It's refreshing to work with someone who understands the challenges she's faced. Lena gives her invaluable advice. "Don't just succeed. Pull others up with you. That's how we win." Simone takes the words to heart, determined to foster an inclusive work culture. Weeks later, Simone reflects on her time at Ellington & Co. She no longer feels anger, just clarity. The experience shaped her, but it doesn't define her. She realizes that walking away was an act of self-respect. She sends Andrew a message, thanking him for his friendship. "I hope you find what you're looking for," he replies warmly. Simone smiles. She already has. Simone initiates a mentorship program at her new firm, focusing on young professionals from underrepresented backgrounds. It's her way of giving back and ensuring that others don't face the same struggles she did. Her mentees look up to her, inspired by her journey. Simone feels a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that she's making a difference not just in business but in people's lives. Simone stands at a rooftop party hosted by her new firm, looking out at the city skyline. Life is unpredictable, but she's finally where she belongs. As the music plays and laughter fills the air, she raises her glass in silent gratitude for the lessons, the growth, and the courage to move on. Simone knows her journey is far from over. There will be new challenges, but she's ready for them. She no longer waits for recognition, she creates it. With every step she takes, she paves the way for others to follow. Her story isn't just about breaking glass ceilings. It's about breaking free from the need to prove her worth and finding the strength to define it for herself. Months into her new role, Simone feels more fulfilled than ever. But success comes with its own set of demands. The firm is competing for a massive client contract that could cement its position as an industry leader. Simone is asked to lead the team, marking her first major project with full autonomy. The stakes are high, and the responsibility weighs heavily on her shoulders. Determined to prove to herself that she belongs in this position, Simone throws herself into the work. She calls late-night strategy meetings, digs into market data, and designs a bold, innovative pitch. This time, the work bears her name, and she feels a mix of excitement and nervousness as the final presentation day approaches. The stress begins to creep in. Simone's new colleagues admire her drive, but there are murmurs that she might be pushing too hard. "She's good, but does she need to be that intense?" one team member remarks during a lunch break. Simone overhears it and feels a pang of insecurity. After all, she's heard versions of this criticism before. Lena, her friend and mentor at the firm, notices Simone's tension. "Look," Lena tells her over coffee, "you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You got this role for a reason. Don't let the fear of how others see you make you second-guess yourself." It's exactly what Simone needs to hear. The day of the presentation arrives. Simone stands before a room full of executives, both from her firm and the potential client. With every slide, every carefully crafted insight, she grows more confident. This time, no one is speaking over her. No one is stealing her credit. She owns the room. When the presentation ends, there's a long moment of silence before the client CEO leans forward. "This is exactly what we've been looking for," he says with a nod. Simone's heart soars. The firm wins the contract and her team's effort is publicly celebrated. But what matters most is the knowledge that she earned it all on her own terms. After the success of the project, Simone's reputation skyrockets. A headhunter reaches out, offering her an executive role at an even larger firm. The offer is tempting, more money, more prestige, but it comes with a price. The role would require her to move across the country, away from the city she loves and the relationships she's built. Simone finds herself at another crossroads. She knows that her decision will shape her career and personal life in ways she can't fully predict. She talks it over with Lena, who simply asks, "What would make you happiest, Simone? What feels right?" Curious about where her old firm stands now, Simone reaches out to Andrew. They meet for lunch at their favorite cafe, and Andrew updates her on the fallout from her departure. "After you left, a lot of people started questioning the way things were being run," he says with a smile. "Matt, he's still there, but people see through him now. And Tom, he's on his way out." Simone feels a strange sense of closure. She's not bitter, but hearing that her departure made a difference feels validating. "I'm glad I left," she tells Andrew, "but I hope things get better for the people who stay." That evening, Simone sits by her apartment window, reflecting on the woman she's become. The job offer weighs on her mind, but she knows that it's no longer about chasing titles. It's about living a life that aligns with her values. She thinks about how far she's come, from the young woman desperately seeking recognition at her old firm to the confident leader she is today. For the first time, she feels at peace with herself, knowing that she's worthy, regardless of what others think. Simone calls her sister Layla to talk through her decision. "So, are you going to take the job?" Layla asks. Simone sighs. "I don't know. It's a big opportunity, but I love where I am. I finally feel like I belong here." Layla laughs gently. "The way I see it, there's no wrong answer. You've built something amazing wherever you've gone. You'll do the same no matter where you end up." Her sister's words remind Simone that success isn't tied to any one place or title. It's about staying true to herself. The next morning, Simone wakes up with clarity. She declines the headhunter's offer. It's not because she doubts her abilities, but because she's found something more valuable: fulfillment. Staying at her current firm allows her to build deeper relationships, mentor others, and create the kind of work culture she's always dreamed of. Her decision isn't about turning down an opportunity. It's about choosing the life she wants to lead. And that, Simone realizes, is the truest form of success. Simone doubles down on her mentorship program, expanding it to include professionals from other firms. She partners with Lena to host workshops and networking events, creating spaces where young talent can thrive. "We're not just building careers," she tells her mentees. "We're building communities." Simone's program becomes a resounding success, earning recognition across the industry. But for her, the greatest reward is seeing her mentees grow in confidence, knowing that they don't have to wait for permission to succeed. On a crisp autumn evening, Simone hosts a dinner for her closest friends and colleagues, celebrating the journey they've shared. As laughter and conversation fill the room, she looks around at the people who've become her second family. Simone knows that life will continue to bring challenges, but she's no longer afraid of them. She's learned to trust herself, to walk away when necessary, and to embrace every new opportunity with open arms. The glass walls that once confined her have shattered, and in their place, Simone has built a life on her own terms. As the evening winds down and her guests leave, Simone steps out onto her balcony, taking a deep breath of the cool night air. She smiles to herself, knowing that her story is far from over. There are still adventures to be had, dreams to chase, and lives to change. And she's ready for all of it. Simone's relentless drive has shaped her success, but it has also come at a personal cost. She's realized that many personal connections, romantic and otherwise, have taken a back seat to her career. Now that she's in a position of stability, she wonders if she's ready to prioritize personal relationships. Will Simone find the right balance between her work and personal life? Can she allow herself to be vulnerable enough to build meaningful romantic connections, or will her ambition keep pulling her in other directions? Simone's story shows that while she has come a long way, success doesn't erase all challenges. The road ahead will still present moments of doubt, difficult decisions, and unexpected obstacles. However, she has grown stronger, more self-aware, and better equipped to handle what life throws her way. Her journey isn't about eliminating challenges, it's about navigating them with grace, resilience, and purpose. And as she steps into this new chapter, Simone knows that she doesn't need all the answers right now. After all, the beauty of life lies in embracing the unknown and trusting herself to figure things out along the way.